Alright there, so now that we've finished, now I've finished doing the all the electric guitars for the Sonic Armory episodes. I'm going to move on to other things. I guess you could call this a mini Tone Tuesday, but just here as an addendum to add a few things, to nip and tuck. Isn't it funny that like when you buy something second hand and it doesn't come with a manual and you have to like write it all down off the internet because you ain't got a printer? You see my new pad. And I'm pathetic, showing you about pathetic things that cost like £1. Anyway, really pleased to show you all my axes, because I have to say, while doing it, something that I've noticed is like this is it's been a long time since I've been equipped like this. I mean, it was only like 2 years ago, literally exactly 2 years ago. I was in a hostel and I got in a scuffle with a lad. He'd been winding me up. I'm not going to justify it, but like, I got into a fight and I got chucked out from the hostel, and so I was like on the streets, hard on the streets. So, it's been hard, and all my music gear was in storage. I had the little Boss digital recorder. I actually had that at times. And I've got recordings there that are actually done in the hostel, so that's pretty cool, because the actual Boss, you can literally just plug a guitar in and build it all. You've got like a drum machine in there, and you can make bass lines, you can do the works, and you don't need to plug a mic in. It's got like built-in mic, so you can literally actually use very little. Just my black LTD Sheila. Which was episode 5 of the Sonic Armory. I just had her and the Boss there, and I'd get it done. And even then, I felt so like in luxury, because with the Cosm engine, I've basically got every Boss pedal that's been made, every Boss rack effect, Roland rack effect that's been made. A lot of shit, basically, a lot of wicked stuff. State of the art at the time, amp modelling and, speaker cabinet modelling, and really good and interesting stuff. And it was my first real deep dive into creating patches and recording with modelling technology, and just when I started to really embrace it and see the qualities of it, especially being in the situation that I was in. Being to have this like virtual like stock room of amps, when I'm actually like on the street, wow. Also, that thing being able to run on batteries is pretty good. I can tell you that there are a few nights, squatting in a rough place where no electric or water or anything like that, and yet I'm still working in a studio somehow. Kept me mentally there. And I had to be very like secretive and guarded about my actions, because there's some dodgy cunts out there, and it's like, all I've got to do is get my rucksack nicked and boom, I'm over, and like that would just be so bad. And it's exactly the sort of thing that happens when you're homeless. And my nice encore acoustic that Jonathan Leahy gave to me went that way. It got nicked by a couple of crackhead brothers and so it's like fucking, and I don't blame them, I blame myself. I shouldn't have been in those circles. And, and that encore, I'd still be using it. It was much the same as my much beloved non-label, but what I probably think is an encore. It's probably the same thing. Someone went to a great deal of trouble so that I don't know, and but I don't care what it is, I don't care what it is. I think they were, it's banking on it like, I don't know, looking like a Martin, but it's the same shape, but that's it. So this is tuned into Delta G, if you were wondering. So that's D, G, D, G, B, D. yeah. So we've done all the electric guitars now, with the exception of one, and that is this, which is a mystery guitar. We don't really know what this is. It's like the guy, Mark, if you're out there, God bless you, mate. Love you to bits. I'm going to come and see you soon. Sorry I didn't come last week. I will be in touch. We think this is a Samick. I start to think maybe it's a stag, because there's a stag with this sort of like thing going on a bass with this sort of thing going, but that's slightly different, and the horns are more like parallel. So we really don't know. And then I found the headstock. That is the Samick headstock. Okay, it still doesn't rule it out for being something else, but it's encouraging. So we think it's a Samick. Whatever it is, it's nice, and it's a Floyd Rose guitar, HSH. I'm calling it the Warcaster because, like, look at this nice touch. You know, I like that. I first saw that on an Ibanez where there's a chamfer and then they bind it still. I'm calling it the Warcaster because it looks like a Stratocaster and a Warlock. Fucked, and this come out as the semi-aborted fetus, hermaphroditic fetus. So I'm calling it the Warcaster, and this is going to be a pure thrash, modded thoroughbred, and that's that. I'm probably going to lose the gold bits off of this, and go black bits on this or something. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not there yet, but yeah, it's getting the Floyd Rose on it, and yeah. I'm looking forward to it, because HSH, I've got the Yamaha in HSH, and that has turned out to be a very studio-friendly combination, or should I say songwriting-friendly combination, especially on the Yamaha, where a lot of thought has actually been put into, even though they're just cheapo pickups, like they're nothing special, I'm not saying they are, but a lot of thought has been put into that pickup set. Now, sorry I'm out of shot, but I'm just going to show you something that I'm going to do. No, not that one. Excuse me while I light my stuff. No, not that one either. Close though. Keep that one out. Yeah, here we go. No, not that one either. The bottom one, of course it is. Right. So the pickup set for the Samick. You'll like this. Okay. Right. I'll get it together eventually. Oh, that reminds me. I'm going to get them out now so that I don't forget. Right, there you go there. Right. So yeah, pickup set for the Samick is an ESP LCD set. So covered humbuckers and that in the middle. Now that's going to be tapped or split, coil split. Alright. So yeah. So it kind of goes as a set anyway. You've got the same label on them. That's as far as it goes as far as a set. So yeah. There we go. So, and that's going to be split. Alright. So it'll be 3 humbuckers or HSH. And with the fully metal aesthetic. Like I'm going all out metal on that. I actually think that's going to be a really good guitar. These were going to go in the Silver Burst. But I think I've changed my mind. I think I'm going to put the Jackson pickups in there. These. Because they are much closer to what's in the V, you know, just being like a ceramic sort of, well, Bellcat, ceramic Bellcat. Very much similar sort of territory as the V, and that I think would be a better idea in view of like a stage second if I use the V and the Silver Burst Les Paul live. I want to show you these quick. I changed the tubes in my Fender Champ, and I did it myself, and I searched all over the internet for tubes that were good, that I could afford. You'll never guess what I got. And I could choose 50s, 60s, 70s or 80s surplus stock. I got Soviet Space Program surplus vacuum tube, a vacuum tube. Yes, now, the ones that are in it, like now it's supposed to be groove tubes, but they'd already been changed to these electro harmonics, which are also like Sovtech. They're Sovtech, but they ain't anywhere near as good as these. These fucking things, they look to, like, you know, yeah. Now there's a dude, when I got them, there's a dude that's basically just bought a fucking shit ton of these, but if you want the link, I can dig it out for you. But yeah, all I can say is, he learnt a lesson that day, because we were both looking for tubes, you know. He'd sold me the champ, and we were looking for tubes, he was looking for tubes, I was looking for tubes for the amp. And it was working, but it was starting to, you know, it wanted a tube change. And I still haven't changed the preamp tube, which I need to do. But it's fine. Anyway, like, so he's looking at like the boutiquiest of boutique tubes. I'm looking for the cheapest tubes, and that's how I found them, was by looking for the cheapest tubes, and they were better than anything he found, to the point where he was buying, you know, he bought me those because of the find. You know, he was so delighted, because we were just sat around his laptop, and he bought me them, you know. It was like a thank you for, like, because he was so taken aback. You know, like, not at first, but when they arrived. At first, he was interested, but it wasn't until they arrived, you look at them, and he's like, oh shit. And then he bought a shitload. And he paid for them. And, yeah, so fucking, sometimes, actually, you got to go different routes from what you think is best sometimes. You've got to, like, diversify. You know, I know it's a buzzword. You know, but that just goes as much as like, oh, okay, have I looked in the charity shops in the next town? I mean, you know, I live in Chichester. Have I looked in the Bognor Regis charity shops? Do you know what I mean? That sort of thinking is where you need to be. Anyway, oh, right, now, the other thing, this morning, this was fun. This morning, I cranked up the Vox, little Vox VT20, great amp. And I started to think, oh, I've got a few tube screamers now, because you know I'm mad about tube screamers. If you are familiar with me and my doings, you'll know that like the tube screamer is like a heart piece, a centerpiece of the rig. It's something, you know, that I have to have, always have, in the rig in some way, shape, or form. And yeah, so you know, so. You've seen, I've heard this one. Now, right, let me start at the beginning. I used to have a tube screamer that's now worth a fucking fortune. I mean, I could buy a nice Les Paul with how much I could get for my old tube screamer. Of course, I didn't get that for it when I sold it, but I still got a good price for it at the time, you know. But, yeah, Ibanez, Black Label, most desirable tube screamer. I had a very desirable set of pedals back in the day. As, like, Keith, Matt, Mark Stevens, fucking Kev Walker, like Richard Donnelly, Nigel Rippon, any one of you guys would tell. Like, it's like I had like that beautiful Vox, that prototype 72. Oh my god! I mean, I had some fucking really, really cool shit. And now, one of the centerpieces of my rig is the Governor and the Tube Screamer, and I very much, you know, picked that up on my travels. Like, you know, that sort of ooh. You know, I've seen other people use it and it's like, ooh, right? Yeah, so for me personally, right? For me personally, Tube Screamer, Governor, Metal Zone, I know, into a nice clean Fender valve amp. Oh, I love it. And now, as horrific as this sounds, okay, as horrific as this sounds, at a pinch, a Fender solid state amp, okay? I can make do with that. And so so having pedals that you can chuck in a gig bag or in your you know, duffel bag, like, you know, and being able to just like ring and get a Fender get a Fender on the stage and I'm happy, dude, that's achievable. Because, you know, expecting them to get it right, just go in there, you know, oh, fuck's sake, go in there for, you know, a JCM 800 and it being a valve state all the time. It gets fucking tiring, and I couldn't hate an amp more than the valve state, and it kind of appalls me that they're so well regarded now. But the fact is, that hatred is my weakness, because one of the best sounds, two of my favourite fucking sounds, it turns out, come from the valve state. Okay, Chuck Schuldiner from the Florida death metal band, the first death metal band, Death,
You know, with such albums as Leprosy, fine tracks like Pull the Plug. He uses a valve state fucking exclusively. And shock of all shocks, ZZ Top valve state rig. And they're fucking amazing sound. So it's me. The fact that I can't get a good sound out of it is my problem, not the amps. Because I know that like other people are, you know, doing great with them. Mr. White, I believe you've got a valve state, and you speak well of it. And I have to say, maybe even as little as 10 years ago, the amp that the camera's sitting on that I bought off Mad Malco, the MG15 DFX, I probably couldn't have coped with that then, but I can get a sound out of it now. Bit of a struggle, but I can get one. I get a good clean one. But yeah, anyway, so I saw... So my tube screamer that I want, because I'm snobby when it comes to sound. And I've got my Governor, right, which is a Mark 1, you know, made in UK, super desirable. Love that fucking pedal, been through the wars, sentimental value. You know, guy that gave it to me as a gift to get me going, like when I had nothing and I was rebuilding the rig. Miss him dreadfully. I mean, he taught me a lot of this shit. You know, he taught me a lot of this shit. You know, on the road when I had a tone. And it just didn't translate all the time. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. He helped me, you know, harden into the guitarist that I am now. And it's like, I can always get a sound. I can always get a sound live now. And I can always make whatever I've got sound better. And that's because of him. You know, he gave me that fucking, that knowledge base, you know, that survival skill set, just for a live guitarist to know enough about sound to be able to improve things around him. That's what he really pushed. And then I got more interested in sound engineering, and he completely assisted. So anyway, fucking get back to the Tube Screamer. So Josh, JHS Pedals, Josh, did a thing like what's the deal with Behringer or something like that, or something about clone pedals or something. And he put this up against, you know, my old Tube Screamer, and the same pedal as my old Tube Screamer. And it was exact. I couldn't pick it apart, and I thought, fuck it, they're 20 quid on Amazon, I'll do it for a punt, because I was just living without. I was going to get one of those demon things as a sort of gut feeling that might be good for 30 quid. And it was a switchable, like, 808 or TS9. But I went for this, 20 quid, because I was so impressed with Josh's channel, and when I got it, sure enough, yeah, it's fucking, it is exactly as I remember pretty much. You know, I don't know whether I'm just being, you know, kind of like hard on it, like say it just doesn't quite the warmth or the vibe, but those things are so fucking ephemeral. I think once I record with it, or once I'm playing with it, fuck it, you wouldn't know. This does the job fucking great. So anyway, this morning I got that one. I got my favourite fucking, the little Michelangelo Bascio signature pedal, which is a Tube Screamer with the boost. You get the low end boost, so you can, and the new one, which is the Full Drive 2 copy, the Crazy Cacti. And I had them all going into the Vox. And I got them all set up like the same. And the Crazy Cacti, I put it into the settings that should make it sound around like a TS-808. And yeah, they were really similar. They're really good, each in their own way. You know, the Michelangelo Bascio is the brightest. The Crazy Cacti is got the most sort of feel and organic. It probably has the sort of, you know, the Tone Meister's quality. Like a Tone Merchant would want this one, because it has a sort of like, you know, the MOSFET switch. When you get into MOSFET, it's like a really soft attack. Like some of the old Colour Sound, some of the really old like fuzzes and overdrives from back in the day. It's just a beautiful, beautiful pedal, that sound, and I love it. But I think in a pinch, this is probably the best, if I'm honest, as regards to using it as what I'm using it for stacking. If I was using the Tube Screamer on its own, absolutely the Crazy Cacti. Using it for stacking, this one or the Behringer. The Behringer just gets the job done, and it's the only one of the three that has a battery option. And I call bullshit on these fucking rats on the forums. They're plastic, they break, they're not... Yeah, right, okay, they say the knobs break off. Now, these knobs aren't detachable. So the stem is actually that width of the knob. Those knobs are actually harder to break, I would dare say, than the ones on a Boss pedal. Shut the fuck up with your bullshit. This is ABS plastic. The military use this to deflect bullets. Shut up. There's nothing wrong. The only thing you got to worry about with Behringer, right, is the circuit. Right? Don't fucking worry about them breaking. They will not break. And if it turns up broken, like, they'll give you another one. They don't give a fuck. They're 20 quid. They are a great service to us as a musician. If you don't know, do I really want, like, I'll give you an example. Like, do I really want like a sub-octave pedal? Okay. Well, the Boss one's, I think, over 100 quid. I think it's 100. Let's say 100 quid. Okay. And then it turns out you don't really ever use it and you don't really like it. This is a clone of exactly that Boss pedal. It's 20 quid. I used the sound on a multi-effect. I thought, oh, it'd be nice if I had a pedal so I could put that into other rigs. And, you know, because this is actually now part of a song that I've written. I need this sound. But I didn't want to be dependent on a particular multi-effect. So I wanted the... and this is brilliant. I was so impressed. You know, it's really good. So, you know... If you can't make the 100 quid commitment to try a pedal that you don't know whether you're going to like and whether you're going to use much, fucking go to the Behringer. That's what they're there for. And then if you're using it all the time and it's like, you know, yeah, I use this all the time. I think I'd like to get a Boss. It's like, I absolutely would go and buy the Behringer version of the Metal Zone, right? If I didn't have a Metal Zone. But their drive pedal, I mean, everything across it is just a touch darker than the Boss. All the Boss clones are exactly the same, but they're not quite as bright. So you just EQ that back in, and you're away. But that's it. 20 quid. Fucking, you know, it's great. But anyway, so I'm going through the pedal, and I'm impressed with each of them. Each of them is nice in its own way. But then I had a thought, which was, hang on. Just going to go sidetrack a bit. What sound is this? Properly, like I can hear it. Do you recognise that sound? I bet you do. Do you know what it is? That's the Marshall J-Sim 800. So that's the Stone Cold sound right there, pretty much. Yeah, so, right. What I want to get onto, so I'm going to go to an AC-15 right now. Alright. That's an AC-15. I love this amp, by the way. What a great songwriting tool, just being able to do that. Anyway, this has got a fucking tube screamer in it. So I dialed in the tube screamer, and here we go. I thought, fucking hell, that's actually as good. Maybe, like, that is it's very hard to distinguish from the Behringer. And the only bit of difference is, it's like, well, the Behringer's got, like, tone controls and all that, and that hasn't. That's like a come as you are level, you know, like, switch it onto the tube screamer mode, and then you've just got, like, a level, basically. And, holy fucking shit, that's really good. And then I thought, okay, hang on, and I compared it, going straight in with the lead, no bullshit, no pedals, into the amp, then it's the best tube screamer. And if I'm using this amp, then it's the best tube screamer that I own. The one in the amp. Because it's like, okay, there's no noise, there's no tonal loss. It's just in the amp. Now, having a tube screamer
like in the modelling section of my modelling amp, okay, it's not high on my list of priorities. Or I didn't think it was, but fuck me, how damn good it is, and I will definitely be using it. Like when recording with this amp, forget the others. That's the tube screamer I'm using. Do you know why? Because it's the best. And now ironic. The best pedal is no pedals. And you got to say that's doing quite a good impersonation of being an AC-15. Let's get rid of the tube screamer, give it a bit more drive so you can get a bit of a feel. No reverb or anything, just as is. Position 2, you know, bridge and middle. Position 4, neck and middle. See what I mean? It's pretty damn good. But it needs a bit of tube screamer, and that's the thing, that's the funny thing, you see. So I would use a tube screamer pedal. Yeah. Wow! How about that for bite? That's got an uglier bite than me. Ah! Wow, so you know, I'm fucking happy, I'm flying, and it's a pedal I own that doesn't exist. But yeah, it just, you know, it just shows you the potential, you know, and wow. So, yeah, so if you don't have a tube screamer, you want my advice is buy a Behringer, because it's like, it's exactly a tube screamer, it does exactly what a tube screamer does at about the level that it does it, like regards to, like, you know, the tone controls and all that. This one is just a little bit, it is, like when you're in normal mode, it is, but it's a touch brighter. I'd fucking recommend this, I mean, totally. I mean, I actually use this all the time, like all the time. And the fact that I've gone back to using it after this, because I love this, like, this is definitely staying in the collection no matter what. But yeah, fucking, I can't really say enough. Like, you know, I love tube screamers. I'm mad on them. It's not that I collect tube screamers, but it's possible that I will get like more tube screamer clones just to try them out, because I'm always like looking for. I like that little bit of extra flavour. Like the Crazy Cacti is a copy of a pedal that I used like in lieu of not having a tube screamer for a couple of years. And it belongs to a buddy of mine, and that's, yeah, the full drive 2 MOSFET, and so I know that pedal really well, and I can only say that Crazy Cacti is bloody close. Anyway, favourite bit of the thing that you like to join me doing? Look, it's Marvel today, Marvel superheroes. Let's toodle-oodle-oodle. Starting to run low, but I don't smoke much really now, and I really have to have a guitar in my hands, otherwise I can't justify smoking it. Like, I'm not even joking. If I haven't got a guitar in my hands, I just don't smoke it. Just not interested. It's like it doesn't have any use without the guitar. But I love getting stoned and playing guitar. As I know some of you do. But yeah, God bless you. Best regards from the UK. God, I love this legal high stuff. Right. So, I want to start booking gigs and looking for open mic nights. So, there's Tone Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed the day. And if there's anything you specifically want me to cover, go in the comments. I'm going to be doing the precision basses soon and the electroacoustic rig. And I really ought to start thinking about doing these lessons that I planned, because I planned them all out and then I've let everyone down by not doing them. Never mind. I will. Right, love you. Subscribe to Mad Malco. Subscribe to Music is Fun. Subscribe to Jim McAndrew, Trauma Blue, and do check out 5 Watt World. I do love Keith from there. That was good. Good show. Good live stream last night. Jonathan Cordy, definitely worth a look, and of course CGS Guitars. And final shout out, hey Snail Driver, trying to get hold of you, bub. Speak to you soon.